So today we're going to have a look at the On-Site Record app for Android phone. I'm using the Samsung S7 here today. So to get the app, we can go into the App Store, into your Play Store, search for the app, install it. Once it's installed, it's going to be on your phone. I've got a wee shortcut here onto my phone. So nice and easy to go into it. You can see I've got some sites set up there. Before we carry on and do anything, we want to have a look at the settings up the top right hand corner here, the three dots. Go into our settings. This is where we put our name, our phone number, company name, signature. Really important. Fill all this in before you carry on. The idea of this is every time you're filling in the hard form, you've got to write your name, your number, your company name, do your signature, put in your ID number, your expiry date, all this stuff, your TC, STMS details are saved in the app. So every time you do a check, it's in the background and it's attaching your signature and all your details. If you want to opt in for GPS, that's really important if you want to be able to see where you are at the time of the check. I'll show you this later. And obviously that has some good safety aspects of knowing that you were on site and you were checking your site. So it's like a little mini tracker. So yeah, of course you've got the option to have it turned off. In the notification email, that's really important because every time you do a check, it's automatically going to email it to the email address. So we've got a default sort of an admin email address. So when the guys out on the road do a check, it sends it through to the office and the foreman can see it, everybody can see it. If you're a one-man band, you can just put your own email address, but the idea is no more printing, scanning, it's going to be automatically sent to your phone. And a great way to have a second set of eyes on the actual site. As we know, the person inside the office is normally the one doing the traffic management plans, so it's a good way for the person doing the TMP to see the actual site, or your foreman, your STMS, or your manager. So you can see here I've got a bunch of emails come through today, and here goes the on-site record check of a couple of sites. So we'll go into one of these, go into Shetland Street. We can see Andy Tamale's been doing the checks. You can see it was yes, no's, and what he's been checking on site. As per, it's just a mirror of the on-site record form. We can hit this wee GPS link, which shows where he was, and sure enough, he was on Shetland Street, not at home in bed, saying he did a check. So that's great, being able to show the clients we are checking the site, and the council, the RCA, in the event of an accident, we can ensure that we do have good proof of that the site was checked. Plus, as you can see, you're not bringing in these bits of paper at 5 o'clock and then trying to fill them in at their truck, backdating it. You can't backdate it. When you do a check, it is what it is, and it's just making the whole process a lot funner and smoother and accurate record keepings. So we go back into this check, we can see all the checks, the GPS link, his STMS details, and then if we want to look at some pictures of the site, we can download them. And this is my email, of course. Everybody else can see these same checks. So there goes his site. So that's a good little way to see what this app's actually doing. So we'll go back into the app. You can see I've got 3 or 4 sites set up there. Ones that have been handed over, delegated, removed sites, and the best way to view all this here of your active sites and the ones that have been handed over and removed is hit the wee map icon up the top right hand corner. So it's a great tool here showing where my sites are. So it's a really efficient way to know how to get around your sites and seeing what's still out and what's been handed over. So up the top you've got tick boxes, so if I take away that, it's going to drop out some sites. So if you just want to look at certain types of sites, you can, or if you want a complete overall, you can leave all your ticks on. So we'll go back out of here and we'll go and create a site. So reference number that the RCA gives you, the council. So our reference number for this one's 487. We're just going to do an example here. So we're going to say we're on Harrow Street. It's in the central area. And then whether we're STMS or TC. So I'm STMS, going to click that one. we're going to proceed forward. It's going to ask you if you want to add a site location, so you hit OK. It's going to find where the phone is, and then you can zoom in. So zoom into 14 Harris Street, and you can see we are just about there. So that's where I'm saying we are. In the background on the phone, it will also lock in where you are at the time of the check. Then we can save that. Proceed forward with this wee right arrow up the top. Do we have any temporary speed limits? If you don't have any speeds, hit no. If you do, hit yes. So it's already grabbed a date and time. So once again, it's using the phone to grab this information instead of having to manually write it in every time. You can change it if you want to. Temporary speed limit 30 k's from number 10 to number 18 Harris Street. You can also write stuff in like that. And then the length of the speed limit, so 75 meters. And then obviously your last check that you'll hit that you've removed it. And every time we do one of these, it's also sending an independent check through showing a temporary speed limit has been lodged. So we're happy with that. Hit the wee OK forward button, and then we're on the main screen of doing our checks like we would on the hard form, except a lot easier. So if this was our last check, just remembering you'll hit that wee box at the top. Just checking again who you are on the STMS. High vis on, signs position, conflicting signs, we'll make that one NA because there's nothing there. Correct notation, yes. Lane width's good. Appropriate positive traffic management, yes. Footpath, yes. Cycle lane, there is none, so we'll put that NA. Bang, bang. We all know these checks. Comments, we had a side road you've seen there, so I'm just going to make a wee note here that we added some T1s on the side road. T1 man working signs added to Anzac Ave side road. And this will, in the office, they'll see this message, and it's a good way to keep your RCA in the loop, or who's ultimately in charge of the job. Any hazards? So we're working with cranes, so we're going to have hard hats on, overhead hazard, crane. Have also made a note on our health and safety forms. Cool, so now we've done those checks, we can hit the wee save button or add pictures. There's a wee check anyway. If we do try hit save, it's going to ask us would we like to add a photo. So yes. So you can either take the photo now of the site, or if you've already taken them as you set up, you can go to your gallery, go down, grab your picture of your site, click on it, and that's attached it to it. If we want to add another one, go back to the camera up the top right hand corner, hit that from gallery, and we get the process. And then if I want to add a third, same thing again. So now we've got 3 pictures attached. You can add as many as you want. So now we're finished, we're going to hit the save button. And you can see that we've got 1 site check. So we can hit back into that just by clicking on it. You can see our checks. Up the top right you can see the pictures that have been saved. And for some reason, if you didn't have cell phone reception at the time of the check, it'll still record on the phone, the time and the photos, is everything there, so it's accurate. But if you're not on reception, once you do come to reception, you can go in and re-click the email button up the top and it will resend the notification out. Once you hit the save before, it's already sent it, but for some reason if you want to send it again or you don't have reception, you can go and send it at the end of the day. It's still going to record the actual time you did it, so you can't backdate it or tamper with the site, but it's just a good way to resend it. Cool, so if we do another site check now, 2 hours later, or we just feel that we want to do another one. So temporary speeds, there's no changes there, so I'm going to hit no. I'm going to do my checks, just do a couple of checks because you've already got the idea of it. No more notes here, and I'm going to hit save, and I'm not going to add a picture this time, so no. So now we can see we've got 2 checks. We've got that one and that one. Okay, and then we go do our last check. Speed limits, I'm going to hit yes. I'm going to hit removed. I'm going to save that. And also my last check, so I'm going to hit removed. And make a wee note. All packed up. And the client said we're going to come back at 5 AM tomorrow morning, so early start, so the office will see this. Just a good way to use it as a form of communication or notes about the actual site. So we save that. No, we'll add no pics. Cool, so now you can see got all your sites there. We can see the Harrow Street site we set up. It's going to be added to the overview. We're going to go through a couple other things that you'll be able to do with the app as well now. So if we go into one of the sites like Harrow Street, which we just did, go up the top, hit on the right hand corner, we can send a site summary. What a site summary does is send every single check for that site. So instead of having say 10 or 12 emails or 30 emails if the job's going for a week of all your site checks, your site summary in one email, nice and clean, sends all your site checks. So it's like one clean email of everything that's happened on that site. What we also can do is review the speed reports and the monitoring, and we can go onto another site, say George Street for example, and we'll do a site handover. So if you've got another company or a different STMS taking over the site, it's really important. You'll see on the new CoPTTM On-Site Record form that you can do a site handover, because you are, handing over the responsibility and the ownership of that site, so it's really important that we document it. So we've added that same feature into the electronic version here. So we hit site handover. We can hit who we're handing it over to, a TC, STMS, STMS MP. So we'll say we're handing it over to another STMS. You put in their name there, Mr. Example, phone number, and then they sign it saying that it's been site handover. Put in their STMS ID numbers and their expiry date. Really important that we're checking that they haven't expired, because then you wouldn't be able to hand it over to them. And then the last thing, confirm the briefing's been undertaken. And you could even, on one of your on-site record checks, take a picture of who was at the briefing. You can also take a picture of your health and safety form and attach that to your on-site record. So that's our hit the wee arrow up the top, and now we have handed that site over. So back on the main screen, it'll show George Street as being handed over. So it's changed colour. So that's pretty much about it. We're just going to go back into our emails now, and you'll be able to see every time we've been doing those checks what's been happening. So we can see there's been a site handover up the top. It's been handed over to etc. Mr. Example, phone numbers, all their details. It's even got their signature of who you handed it over to. So it's nice and simple. We'll go back into the emails again. So it has your signature and their signature. Go back into the emails again, and we can see we did a check on Harrow Street. That was the example we did. It's got the notes down the bottom, you can see, coming back at 5 AM. If we want to see where they were at the time of that check, we hit on the wee link. That takes me to here, the same place I've marked the cone. So I wasn't at home in bed. You can see I was on site. Well, actually at the moment I'm in the office, so we can prove that. We've also got temporary speed limit removed, so it's sending that report through that the speeds are removed. Really important to be able to prove that, especially now with the liability of, people can lose their license going through a work site. And the fact that, if you leave speed signs up, unnecessarily, it could be an instant non-conformance. So once again, the officer, they can see when the speed's going up and down, and it's creating that whole quality control throughout your organisation, as well as that relationship with your RCA. It's just making it all so much easier. You can see the other examples I've done there as well. So yeah, that is the On-Site Record app, and hope you enjoy. For more information, go onto our website, www.trafficmanagementltd.co.nz, or you can call the team at TMC here on 0800 000 168. Enjoy. The app's also available on iPhone, so you can get it from the iTunes store if you've got an iPhone, and we've also got the app built for Windows phones. Thank you very much. Cheers.